So today we have a new chapter. We're going to be looking at chapter 7, and chapter 7 talks about extreme customers and customer retention. Can you all imagine what an extreme customer is? Do you think that's a person who shops a lot? Would that be an extreme customer? All right, let's find out. Let's find out what it is. And our objectives are to discuss approaches to use when handling extreme customers, describe activities involved in proactive problem solving and customer self-service for extreme customers, analyze the uses for and types of feedback survey instruments. We saw those on the quiz. And identify customer retention strategies and why they are important for quiet and vocal customers. This thing's better. So extreme customers, we're going to see the quiet customer, the vocal customer, dealing with customer emotions, and recovering from the angry customer. So extreme customers are not those customers that shop a lot. Extreme customers are quiet customers and vocal customers, which should also be treated with dignity and respect. Al Bean said, no customer should have a product that isn't completely satisfactory. So remember, this whole course is about satisfying the customer and giving them our all. So quiet and vocal are modes of a customer expressing their perceptions that are different from the average customer. So an extreme customer is a quiet and a vocal customer. Two different types of extremes. So there's one extreme of the spectrum and the other extreme. One, of course, is going to be very quiet, and the other one is going to be very vocal. I think we would prefer the quiet one, at least after this chapter. So let's talk about the quiet. The quiet customer, there's 5 categories. Now, somebody who's quiet, that statement that says no news is good news, is that true sometimes? Is that true? Well, it doesn't apply with customers. A customer who's quiet doesn't mean that they're having a good experience. What happens is that they just pretty much leave quietly. They just exit. They say, okay, there's too many problems. I don't want to communicate the problems. It's easier to just go ahead and leave and not purchase the product that I love or the product that I'm liking because they're having way too many issues. But they prefer to be quiet. Now, we might assume that a quiet customer is a satisfied client, but that is not the case. A quiet customer is having issues, is wanting to have their problems resolved, but a lot of times, especially nowadays, we just don't want to deal with the hassle of it. So what do? We just pretty much walk away. A quiet customer is an accumulator of issues. One thing happened to them, and then another thing happened to them, and then another thing happened to them. And all of a sudden now they're having all of these problems, right, that are mounting up and things are going wrong. And the quiet customer has a list of things that went wrong, but nonetheless, since they are a quiet customer, they're just going to simply walk away. They think. They're thinkers. The business might know, they might think this. The business knows already and they're not doing anything about it. So I just won't say anything and I will just leave. So they're overthinking, but I feel, how can we solve your problem if you don't say what your problem is, right? You're just gonna wallow and drown in it. But a customer might be thinking, the company doesn't care. The company doesn't want to help me. The company doesn't care about selling this horrible product or having this horrible service. They're also runners. They avoid conflict. They run to new vendors and they run away from confrontation. Anybody here like that? Non-confrontational? Non-confrontational is bad. I will tell you this from experience. If you don't confront whatever situation, be it in the customer service realm or in your personal life, if you don't confront whatever situation is going on, it will build up, it will boil over, and eventually it will explode. And when things explode, they take everybody around them. So being non-confrontational isn't a good thing. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to fight with anybody, you know, that kind of thing. We can confront a situation without fighting. And they just might be too busy. They're just busy bees. They might be too busy to say, you know what, I'm going to take a day or I'm going to take an hour or however long it takes to confront a situation. And then they just say, maybe it's just too much trouble. I'm already busy. It's easier for me to flee and fly off to another flower, to another company. So the quiet customer is not something that we want to have because there's things that are boiling up in there, right? They have a long list of mistakes that the company has done. They have a long list of issues that has happened. They just don't feel like they want to fix it. On the contrary, on the other extreme, we have a vocal customer, and those are the worst. I'm okay with, you know, an unsatisfied customer, somebody who isn't happy, but a vocal customer tends to be loud, talkative, angry, unruly. They misunderstand, they take offense to whatever it is that you're trying to tell them. They don't respond to reason. They're abusive. And as customer service representatives, we require self-awareness so that we can be able to handle these situations. We need tact and we need diplomacy. We need to be calm. We need to be centered ourselves in order to deal with a person who's being loud and angry. I've had situations where loud and angry customers are yelling at me, you know, pointing at me, shouting, where down the hall they're hearing them. And it's very stressful and it shakes you. It shakes you and you kind of lock down and you don't know what to do. But that's where we need to be self-aware of ourselves, that we can handle this situation. And if we can't, find somebody who can help us assist with calming down the vocal customer. Anybody here ever come across a vocal customer that yelled at you? Yeah, what was the situation? What did you do? How did you handle it with your expert customer service skills? I yelled back. No. You're gonna yell at me, I'm gonna yell at you too. I could yell too. That's what I tell my husband though. Anybody want to share? Share your experience. How did you deal with a loud customer, a vocal customer, somebody who was being rude and mean to you?
Well, this one time at the store I work, there was like someone that was waiting for like 45 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And well, he was like obviously mad,
Right.
upset, and he had just came off of some sort of injury, so he was kind of like disabled a little bit.
Okay.
So he needed someone to help him with his order,
Mhm.
but because we took so long to get it to him, he was pissed,
Okay.
you know, and he was just like, unfortunately, I got called out to like help, like it was in my department, but I went to go help,
Okay.
and like he was kind of cussing me out and things like that, like the whole way to his car,
Mhm.
and just
Oh,
kinda
you helped him carry his items to the car?
Yeah,
Okay.
and well, yeah, he was just like, I was getting so mad, like it was like right here, but I mean, it's kind of like at the time I figured he just kind of needed a vent too, so
Mhm.
I let him do that.
Okay.
But-
But was he cussing at you or just cussing? Like, was he calling you names or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you handled that very, very good. Like the excellent customer service representative that you are. And, you know, yeah, it was the situation, maybe it just boiled over for him. right? And like you say, yeah, maybe he needed to vent. But if, let's say, you mentioned it was right here. So what would have happened if it would have came out?
It could have got way
Yeah,
worse.
it could have gotten way worse, especially now nowadays, I mean, you talk about like road rage, you never know who's in the car. You never know who's in the car. You never know, somebody can get out of the car, chase you. You guys seen that movie Road Rage with what's his name? The guy from Gladiator?
Gladiator.
Yeah. You ever saw that movie?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I forgot his name, but anyways. All of these things can happen if we don't help, control the situation. So yes, a customer can be unruly and mean and angry and even, cursing at you, but things can always get worse, always. So let's try that not to happen. Let's have that not happen. Why customers get angry? So reasons that are associated with customer service representatives, which is us. So they can be angry because somebody is rude to them. That can cause a customer to be upset. Someone is indifferent or no one is listening to them. Especially when we have complaints or issues or concerns and nobody is listening to us, what's gonna happen? The person's gonna get upset. That will cause for them, to explode. If you are the person who is rude to them first, that can cause a person to explode. Because remember, you are the professional, not them. You are the professional. So as such, more is expected from you when somebody walks into, Target or Starbucks or wherever it is that you shop. The customer service rep, they are the professionals, and the customer walking in is expecting for you to be a nice person, to be welcoming, not to be indifferent, and of course, to listen to whatever their concerns are. So if you want to avoid a customer getting more upset than they already are, we need to watch out with the rudeness, watch out with the indifference, and of course, listen, active listening all the time to what it is they're saying. Don't just hear them. You can stand there and hear somebody because that's what your ear is gonna do. It's gonna hear the sound that's coming out of their mouth. But you walk out of the conversation and you don't know anything that they just told you. That happens to me sometimes with people that I talk to. Sometimes there's people that you talk to, and have you guys ever known those talkers? They talk, and they talk about all these random things. And sometimes I walk out of there and I don't know what it is. What it is that they told me, because they just told me chisme or their personal problems. But that's separate. That's a different thing. We have to exercise all the time active listening with our customers. Other reasons that why customers get angry, maybe they had a prior bad experience. They feel like they're getting the runaround. That happens a lot here on campus, and I hate that because then people end up in my office and then I have to take care of everything that they went through. No, I don't do that. Go over there. No, the office is over there in that building. No, we don't do that here. Go over there. So nobody wants to take responsibility, and therefore they give the customer the runaround. Resent potential loss of money. They spent money, now their issue doesn't want to get resolved. Or they're here on campus and they're spending a lot of time. Also, that can apply. Dislike being inconvenienced, or they feel like their time has been wasted. And of course, when a customer is trying to resolve their issue, they feel like they're out of control. They can't control the situation. Somebody else has to come and help. And a lot of people don't like the feeling of being out of control. And of course, anger and emotions will be directed at you. Just don't take it personally. You are the one receiving all of that negativity, all of the complaints, all of the yelling, all of the cursing, like in Hernan's case, all of the frustration, right? And I thought this little cartoon here was really, really great. On a side note, this is a commercial. But I think that customer service representatives are going to treat their customers the way the boss treats them. And what does he tell them? You are all terrible. Now get back to work and be nice to customers. If your supervisor is telling you something like that, they can't expect for the customer service rep to treat the customer better. So I think that the leadership has a lot to do with the way customer service reps treat customers. So we gotta be, conscious of all these reasons that a customer could be coming to you right after they had a bad experience, they're getting the runaround. Now they're losing money and they're losing precious time and they're being inconvenienced. And because of the runaround, they feel like they don't have any control over the situation. So now you, as the customer service rep, have to deal with all of these reasons why the person is upset. And that is a lot to handle, right? Because, well, let's just face it, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. When I was in the office and a customer like that would come in, a student would come in like that, or even faculty, please help me do this. They send me over here, that's not correct. They send me over here, that's not correct. Okay, let's grab a hold of the situation and then let's just do it. So it is a lot, and sometimes customer service reps feel like, well, I didn't cause any of that, so I don't see why I have to help. How anger manifests, behaviors that manifest in these particular ways. So they blame others, they can be loud and demanding, they have no regard for rights to others, they take charge of the conversation. You ever had a customer that does that? They come to you and say, okay, how can I help you? And then they tell you their whole story from a month ago and everything that they've been dealing with, right? Even if you try to talk to them, they will interrupt you. They will interrupt you. Maybe even tell you that you're wrong, right? Refuse to do what you ask or threaten to go to your manager. Let me talk to somebody who's above you. Let me talk to your supervisor. Here on campus, let me talk to the dean. Where's the president's office? Everybody would come in. Sometimes people would come in really upset. Where's the president's office? Is there an issue I can help you with? Yes, I need to speak to the president because this and this and that. So they want to go right to the top.
Here's what I
And customers might try to make you angry also. Ever been in a fight with anybody and because they're so upset, they're picking at you because they want you to feel the same frustration that they're feeling. And that is also true of our customers, trying to make us angry so that we can lose our cool, and then they can place more blame and say that customer service rep didn't help me. Because sometimes they push our buttons, right? And we do want to be upset. But in previous chapters, we talked about, I think chapter 5 or 6, we talked about teamwork. And that is where great teamwork will come in. You feel like you're losing it. You feel like it's way too much for you to handle. A great way to kind of diffuse the situation a little bit is to involve another person. What are some ways that what are some words that you can possibly use to diffuse an angry person who is blaming you, being loud and demanding? What is the first thing that we have to for sure do? Anybody know? And Hernan did it when he was dealing with his customer, which is maintain yourself in a calm state. Maintain yourself calmly. Even if it's here in your throat, like he said, don't let it come out, swallow it if you have to, but maintain yourself in a calm demeanor. You are the one that is in charge, and it's easy to get angry, especially when, somebody is doing all of these things to you, interrupting you or threatening you or trying to make you angry. But get the strength from within and stay calm. always, this is like an emergency situation. In any emergency situation, stay calm. That is the first thing that you can do. First, stay calm. El que se enoja pierde, okay? The one who gets mad loses. So don't be the one to lose. Always, always stay calm. So how are we going to deal when somebody is like this? When somebody is mad at us, they're threatening us, they're yelling at us, they're cursing at us, they want to speak to our manager. How can we deal with the customer's emotions? Because that is what they are. They're emotional. They're being emotional and they have let all logic go out the window and now they are running off their emotions and that's why they're doing all of these things. So one of the first things we could do is, of course, stay calm, but we can apologize. Not because we did anything wrong, but because they are going through this situation. At the moment where they're not responding to any logic, anything that you say is not penetrating their emotional barrier because they're just emotional, we can apologize. We can use softening techniques. What might be a softening technique? Do you all think that this is a softening technique? No. Open posture, eye contact, looking at them, a soft voice, no eye rolling, please. Okay. Don't roll your eyes, don't distance yourself, right, from the customer. Softening techniques, lower your voice. Maybe they will also lower their voice. So you can approach a customer this way. Avoid trigger phrases. What is a trigger phrase? Anybody ever had a trigger phrase? Something that'll trigger them getting even more upset. Something like, well, my office doesn't do that. You have to go to the office. That could trigger them because they have already gotten the runaround, right? What else can be a trigger phrase for somebody? I can't give you a refund. I can't do that. I can't. Always let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Maybe you can't give them a refund, but maybe you can. We can give you a replacement. We can give you store credit. A lot of companies do that. Instead of giving a refund, they'll give them store credit. We can't. That is going to be horrible. This Christmas, I ordered something from Target and that thing was nowhere to be found. And I finally found it at Target. And it said, you know how you order something online and then they send you the email and then they say, okay, it's ready to pick up, come and get it. So I did the same day, like about 2 hours later after I got the email, I went and I said, okay, here's my email, and they were going crazy. It was like 2 weeks before Christmas. And they were going crazy. Oh my God, we can't find it. When did you order? Let me see your order, this and that. So they went back there, they got help, can you please help me? I'm looking for this order. They went back there. So lo and behold, it was nowhere to be found. She comes back and she says, you know what? I think we gave it to another customer. It isn't anywhere. I am so sorry. I apologize. And she gave me some gift cards, some Target gift cards. She said, here's two $10 gift cards. I am so sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know what happened, so, okay, she didn't give me my toy, but she remedied the situation. I was pretty upset because I couldn't find it anywhere. And finally I found it at Target. Here in the Alhambra Target, they said they had it, but then they didn't. And I haven't been able to find it ever since. So maybe it's just out of stock. Using calming phrases. Calm the person down. Is please calm down a calming phrase? Please don't fall into that trap. Use calming phrases. Oh, can you please calm down? No, that is not a calming phrase. When you tell somebody, please calm down, they're going to be even more upset. than they were before. You know, calming phrases would be, let me see what I can do. I can assist you with this, but can you give me a minute? I will get some help so that we can get your problem resolved. Always trying to assist all of the time. If you say calm down, pues, I feel sorry for you because they're gonna yell at you even more. And then stay composed, which is what we talked about. Stay composed yourself. Compose yourself. Your voice is relaxed. Take deep breaths. Relax your face. Don't make any, muecas or, when you're rolling your eyes, that kind of thing, looking away. Stay yourself composed. Stay in the situation, whatever is going on, so that you can help the customer. And, giving a soft response, showing the willingness to help, projecting a calm demeanor will calm the person down. A lot of times, sometimes people just need to vent, like Hernan said, people need to talk. They've had many issues going on. They got the runaround. Nobody seems to know the answer to their question. And sometimes they just need to vent. And that happens a lot with customer service representatives, right? Like I mentioned in one of our classes. They're not going to go to the president and vent about their situation, although some people do. They're not going to go to the vice president because they're always in meetings or doing something. They're going to do it with the person that comes across. They're going to do it with the person who's at the desk with the customer service representative. And that is us. That is us when we're there trying to resolve whatever issue they have. But first thing we should always do, stay composed in any emergency situation. Why? If we lose it, we won't be able to think clearly. If we stay calm, we will be able to learn to think clearly and remember everything that we were taught. For example, when we were in high school or even here, sometimes there's like earthquake drills, right? And we know what to do, go get under the desks, stand on the door frame. Although I hear that that's not good anymore, to stand on the door frame anyways. But when the earthquake actually comes, we need to remain calm. And then we will remember all of these things that we were taught. Same thing with the customer service reps. Stay calm in any situation, and you will remember all of these techniques so that you will be able to handle the situation as the expert that you are. So recovering from the angry customer. How can we recover when things are out of control? They're placing the blame. You're the one that didn't get my toy. I'm there at Target. There's a big giant line. All the customers are going crazy. The sales reps are going crazy. Service recovery, trying to recover the situation, which is what the Target rep did by giving me what? Giving me a little gift, right? A gesture of atonement. We're really sorry this happened. I mean, come on, it's 2 weeks before Christmas and, my child is set on having this toy and you didn't provide it to me. But of course, what did she do? She did a gesture of atonement, right? That is specific to the situation. The toy was like $40. She gave me 20. So, I didn't spend the $40 plus I got $20 back. Compensate for the inconvenience, which is what she did, compensating for the inconvenience. Oops. She acknowledged the receipt of my complaint, right? Explain in writing how you will remedy. This might apply to emails. I always ask as a customer for an email confirmation of what I'm going to get, especially like with Verizon or DirecTV, those kind of things, oh, so sorry for the inconvenience. We're going to give you 2 months free, and they send it in an email. They send an email and say, because of this inconvenience, we're so sorry. Here is 2 months free of DirecTV, or here's 2 months free of Verizon, whatever the situation is. So we can recover from the angry customer. We can do all of these things so that the customer is now happy and they feel like their situation was taken care of. In my case, my situation was not taken care of. What I wanted was my toy, but at least I felt like, the gesture of atonement calmed my anger down. No, I wasn't angry. I was a nice customer and polite, but nonetheless, it was disappointing because you have your heart set on something, especially around Christmas, and it was nowhere to be found. So she did a great job of compensating for the inconvenience that happened. So these are some things that we can do to get the customer to calm down. So what are some impacts of extreme customers? Is it just they're gonna get mad and then that's it? We're gonna have a one day or 1 hour situation going on, and then that's it. It's not gonna affect us ever again. No, there will be consequences to a person who is upset. Maybe they might be a quiet customer and they won't tell the company anything. Maybe they're on that extreme, right? And they'll just take their business elsewhere. And what are we out of? We are out income. We are out somebody purchasing our product or our services. So it affects a business negatively. They won't be satisfied with the solution. Maybe you do give them a solution and they're not satisfied anyways. They might give out negative statements. Of course, word of mouth advertising. This was a horrible situation. I am never going back there because this happened because of the poor service, because the food was terrible. And of course, extreme customers. Why would we want to keep them? Because some companies have found that it costs more to win a new customer than to take care of the extreme customer, somebody who's very upset. And they tell their friends about their experience. You all ever tell your friends about what happened? About the bad experience you had? You go to a restaurant and the food is horrible. You're gonna tell somebody, you're gonna tell your friends. And of course, your friends are gonna say, oh no, my friend told me that place really isn't good. Let's just go somewhere else. So you're missing out on business if we don't take care of our extreme customers, both vocal and quiet. We want them to be our customers, and that's why we're taking care of them. So when customers are upset and angry and they're extreme and they're loud, we need to be proactive problem solvers, exceed customer expectations, and provide exceptional service while trying to anticipate and solve problems before they occur. That is proactive problem solving. So we're anticipating the problem, we're trying to remedy it so that when it does happen, it pretty much won't happen. Like down here, down in the office. Years back, and proactive problem solving has a lot to do with customer self-service. So years back, students are coming in for their certificate of achievement applications or skill certificate applications. So instead of them either running out of printouts or having to print it at the time that the student was asking, what are we gonna do? We're going to print out a whole bunch and we're just gonna leave them in the front. That way the student can solve their issue of getting an application on their own. So we are proactive problem solving, trying to identify situations that can happen, resolve it, so that way customers don't have to encounter that situation. So customer self-service is a great way to do that. A proactive approach that empowers customers to go to a company's website and initiate most of the queries and functions normally handled by a call center. Online banking, the best. I know that you all probably don't remember this. You weren't born yet, but before you had to go to the bank to do everything. Deposit your paycheck, make transfers, open up a savings account, all of these different things. So what would happen? A lot of times customers were working. By the time they got out, they couldn't make it all the way to the bank. The bank closes at 5. Now the bank's open on Saturday and some open on Sunday. But customer self-service with the apps now that we have, ordering online, all of these things can be resolved by the customer themselves. I am a big online banker. I have my bank's app. I do all of my transactions there. I have not been to a bank in years, years. Last time I went to the bank is because I had to withdraw a large amount of money. So these customer self-service applications or websites are a great way to solve a lot of the customers' issues. A person who cannot come shopping to Target because they're working all day, and by the time they get out, it's closed, or they don't have a babysitter to go by themselves, or whatever the issue may be. Maybe they're disabled, it's not easy for them to get in and out of the house. Now they have Target.com. You go on there, you shop, you see what they have, and it comes to your door, right? Solving the problems of customers. Customer self-service. Anybody do any online shopping? Y'all do online shopping? Yeah, you don't have to get out. You don't have to spend time in traffic. You don't have to waste gas. You can do it in a second. You literally look up what you're looking for and boom, it pops up. As opposed to going to the store and then walking through the aisles. Where is it? Where's this? Where's that? And then you get there and then they change all the aisles. Isn't that the worst? I hate when stores do that. I finally memorized where everything is in Albertsons. And then I go there the following week and it's all moved around. They say that companies do that, or Costco, they do the same thing. They say that companies do that because it gets people to buy more. It gets people to buy more items that you hadn't seen, because now you're passing through aisles that you hadn't passed through before, because now things are moved around. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. That just makes me upset. And, you know, I want to walk out of the store, but I only stay there because I need whatever it is that I'm going to purchase. So we can measure customer service satisfactions, and these are some ways that we can do that. Getting insight to what the customer needs so that we can avoid them getting upset. Feedback surveys. Anybody ever do a feedback survey? At the end of a customer service telephone call, when you order something online, you get a survey. When I order stuff on Amazon, on Target, when I visit CVS, I get a survey. How was your visit? If I join rewards, like at the Cheesecake Factory or Chili's or wherever it is I go eat, I will get a survey. Also, even if you go to McDonald's, there's a survey on the coupon. You can log into it and have a survey. So that is a great way to see what's going on. What are customers thinking, right? What are they being satisfied, or are they not being satisfied? Or will we have some extreme customers that we are going to have to deal with? Mystery shoppers. Do you know that the mystery shoppers exist? I never thought they did, but a long time ago when I was in high school, I worked at Jack in the Box. And in Jack in the Box, there was mystery shoppers, and there's mystery shoppers in McDonald's everywhere. So the mystery shopper is somebody who comes into an establishment, a business, is undercover pretty much, and is gauging everything, all aspects of the customer interaction. So, for example, in Jack in the Box, is the food hot? Did I receive my food in a timely manner? Was the cashier polite? Did you have a situation? Was your order accurate when you received it? You know, was the food hot? Was the beverage, did the cup have too much ice, or did it have not enough ice? When you opened up your burger, was it nicely, you know, presented, or all sloppy, or ahí todo? And I remember when we were in the drive-through, that I used to work in the drive-through, we used to try to guess if it was a mystery shopper. So sometimes if we did think it was a mystery shopper, we were extra nice. Because of course they're gonna report back. on us and how we provided the service. So mystery shoppers do exist. And these are ways that we can measure the customer satisfaction. You know, feedback tools, comment cards, sending out surveys, those are some feedback tools. And then of course, once we get all of this feedback, interpreting customer feedback, knowing how to take all this data, remember we put it into our database housing, and then we do some data mining to find out exactly how happy customers are so that we can make some adjustments and that we can solve the issues, right? Proactive problem solving, we can solve it before it happens. Trying to read customers' minds as to what their needs are, what their issues are, so that, you know, we can give them and provide a great customer service experience. So feedback sources. What are some ways that we can get feedback? All of these are some feedback tools. Of course, employees, we know if customers are happy or not happy. We know what it is that customers are asking for more, right? Here in this campus, I will tell you this, there's a great problem with knowing where the fiscal office is. Because down when I was working in the office, 9 out of 10 people are asking, where is the fiscal office and where can I pay for my health fee or for my parking or those kinds of things. So there's gotta be a little bit more signage or something to direct students to the fiscal office. So employees are gonna know what customers are complaining about. Social media, of course, comment cards, the competition. Maybe the quiet customer might not tell us what's going on, but they will tell their competitors. Documentation and records, mail surveys or telephone surveys. At the end of customer service rep calls, you always get, you know, if you have time, please stay for the 1-minute survey at the end of this phone call. And all of these things are great ways of knowing how the customer is feeling and what we can do to give them a better customer service experience when they're coming into our stores. Well, mystery shoppers, we talked a little bit about that, right? Specific instructions during the visit, they complete written reports, and then they help identify the strengths and the weaknesses. I remember at Jack in the Box, you had 4 minutes from the time the car ordered on the speaker, you had 4 minutes to get the car out. Have you ever been to any restaurant and you get to the window and you pay and then they tell you, can you please park? Anybody ever gotten that? Do you know why that is? That's because of the mystery shopper, because the mystery shopper will sit in the parking lot and time the cars to see how fast they're getting out. So their visit also includes that. They're gonna sit there and see maybe like 4 or 5 cars and time them and see how fast they're getting out. So anywhere that you go, that's happened to me at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Burger King, Cane's right here down the street. Anywhere that you go, that's gonna happen. So then the mystery shopper is gonna come and say, well, they're taking too long to get the cars out, which means the food is taking too long to get done. In all of these fast food places, everything runs on timers. They have a timer when they put your chicken nuggets in the frying oil, it has a timer. Everything has a timer. So they need to see that it's running smoothly. So the mystery shopper is going to gauge all of these things. And then after they're done with that, they're going to bring a report that is going to go directly to the branch manager and say, look, this is what's going on. Now, if we knew who the mystery shopper was, we would do a lot better, right? But that's why it's a mystery shopper. So that without us knowing who they are, they're going to really be able to gauge the type of service that we are providing to just the regular customer, not somebody who's grading us. So it's quite interesting, That's actually something I wanted to go into, being a mystery shopper. I thought it was cool. And our feedback tools. that we're gonna use common cards, surveys, electronic surveys, in-store shopper surveys, questionnaires, you know, electronic surveys. There's electronic surveys here for professors. Anybody here ever fill out one of those? No? You might. You might. Here's a little bit of insider information. All professors go through an evaluation process, and a lot of times students get electronic surveys and you get to write about the professor and, you know, click on agree, disagree, and all of that stuff. And that is how the college gets information about how the students are feeling about their customer service experience, because remember that you as students are the customers and the college is the business that is providing the excellent customer service. So in-store shoppers, well, of course, that was a in-store shopper surveys. On your receipt, you might be able to do a survey. I often get those. I'll go on there and say, you know, it was great, or it was awful, it was terrible, you could do this better, and give some feedback on there. And I often do. When I have some time, you know, I'll go there on my receipts and give them really good feedback, or if I had an issue, I will let them know also. Because if we did great and we got a great mystery shopper report, then they would give us a little bonus. You know, they would give us a little bonus or a day off or something like that. So it's good to share our experience for the employees, for the customer service reps. So when we get all of this feedback, right, that we're providing, we're filling out the surveys, we're filling out the questionnaires, we're staying the extra minute after the phone call, and now we have all of this customer feedback that we've gotten. So now we're gonna interpret it. And when we interpret it, we can make changes to our company by maybe changing the quality of the merchandise, quality of service, employees' lack of courtesy. Maybe we can do some workshops or some trainings on that, mishandle complaints, maybe see the problems that are going on with billing and with invoices, you know, quality of merchandise. Did you all hear about the Lululemon fiasco a few years ago? No? I mean, I know that's a women's store, but Lululemon was having issues that their material was very see-through. And a lot of women were complaining. And if you've ever been to Lululemon, it's a little bit more of a high-end store because one pair of pants costs $100. So you're having all of these rich housewives or these rich executives, right, on their shopping day using these Lululemon pants, and the material was very, very see-through, and you could see everything, especially when people were bending over or having their yoga class. So what did they do? They had to update their merchandise, the quality of their merchandise, and they took care of that problem, because that thing made it out of social media and into the news, and bueno, it was a mess. So of course, what would happen? What happened when that came out and people started complaining of that? What happened? The women stopped buying the Lululemon pants. And they said, no, I'm spending all of this money and it's poor quality. So Lululemon had to maintain the same price. And of course, quality of merchandise is now better. And everybody's back to buying them. So customer feedback, you know, contrary to what Hernan told us, we do want to know, Hernan, what customers are thinking, because we want to solve issues and we want them to be happy and we want them to keep buying our products, right? The women that are buying the Lululemon pants, each one is $100. I mean, if they buy uno por dia, that's $500. If they buy one pair of pants per day to be lounging at home, or, you know, once they come home and they start cooking or whatever it is that they do. So we want to keep our customer happy. Feedback results are not personal. They're not a personal attack on us, although a lot of times it might seem that way. But it is because of the merchandise, the quality of service, or the lack of courtesy. And as customer service reps, this is the one that we can control. The lack of courtesy, the lack of service, the lack of resolving issues is under our control as customer service representatives. So we do want feedback all the time. We want feedback in our schools, we want feedback in our companies so that we can know what's going on with the customer. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here.